Valve's unequal review process that even seems to target Japanese people, girl protagonist ADV Inner Truth and girl photography SLG Lover R Kiss Endless Memories, simultaneously removed from Steam. Then we had an official announcement from the company. To all of you eagerly awaiting the release of Lover Kiss Endless Memories, currently the Steam version store page is not viewable. Due to various circumstances, it has become difficult to release on the Steam platform. However, we are preparing to deliver the PC version on a different platform, as soon as the details are finalized. We will formally announce it, so we will kindly ask for your patience in awaiting further updates. We will continue to strive to meet everyone's expectations, so please continue to look forward to Lover Kiss Endless Memories. So let's get into the whole bombshell of what's going on here. So, for those that need a brief rundown, a quick summary to kind of get everybody up to speed, Collective Shout, a feminist activist organization from Australia, contacted payment processors like Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and various other credit card, debit card companies. Upon them contacting the payment processors, these payment processors decided to say, look Steam, look Itch, if you don't remove these thousands of games and basically make thousands of creators lose any source of revenue and money overnight, we're going to blacklist your companies. We're going to blacklist your sites, and you're no longer going to be able to make money. And to kind of emphasize the damage this would cause, basically, imagine if the entire platform of Steam, or Itch, or whatever, or any company, honestly, you no longer could have credit cards or debit cards processed. You no longer could use your Visa card and make a purchase of a game. Imagine if you could no longer buy Minecraft, GTA, whatever. You just couldn't buy anything on a platform because that credit card, debit card company, payment processors pulled out completely, effectively killing your entire company. So even Steam had to bow down and kiss the very boot of payment processors because of just how powerful they are. And literally in under a night, thousands upon thousands of games were lost, causing a lot of damage. And to this very day, there's a lot of creators and developers, artists, and everybody that is suffering thanks to what payment processors and Collective Shout has done to them. But the point of the matter is that when this happened, Steam was forced to put an entirely new policy into effect to basically say, if payment processors want us to remove something, we have to remove something. We have to do it, or we effectively could lose our entire company. And this pretty much stated that these payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, they are in so much control that not even something like Valve could even fight back against their monopoly, how much money that they actually have. Because put this in perspective, basically, Valve is a massive company that houses so many different games. And if they legitimately can't even take a stand for gamers, that has been very pro-consumer, pro-gamers, basically for decades at this point, then it says a lot about what's currently going on. And so the issue here is that these payment processors have way too much power, and obviously it came more public knowledge in the last few months. More people became aware of Visa and MasterCard and PayPal and what they've been doing. But the point of the matter is, with the new policy, it basically meant that payment processors could pick and choose to remove games that they don't like on the platform, and Steam would have to comply. And obviously, now with those policies in effect, we have Japanese games, like for instance, Lover R Kiss Endless Memories, and another game, which, I showed at the beginning of the video, Inner Truth, that was also removed from Steam simultaneously, by the way. With the articles and the sources and all that's coming out, both of these games were removed at the exact same time, which is pretty damning, pretty concerning. It pretty much emphasizes that it's the exact same reason for both of them. First off, the correlation between both of them is that there was female protagonist. Secondly, it was a game from Japan. And thirdly, it was a game that has potentially suggestive themes, but obviously it doesn't show anything. It doesn't have any NSFW, anything like that. But obviously, they were instantly removed from the platform. And so, in turn, this has effectively not just damaged the release of these games, but also it has showcased another example of the systematic domino effect of censorship, not just on Steam's platform, but on the internet, and how much effect that these payment processors actually have. It's honestly really bad, and it makes me so infuriated to see that this is continuing to happen. It's getting worse and worse, and we're seeing more and more games just pulled from Steam over and over again. The fact that we have companies officially having to talk about this and all that, it's actually so sad, because it's very obvious that this has happened thanks to payment processors. Steam didn't do stuff like this, and the fact that 2 different games was removed at the exact same time, it definitely reinforces the idea that it is payment processors. Now, I do want to, actually state this. It is not officially confirmed that it was payment processors that caused this, but looking at everything that's happened in the last few months, and then looking at what payment processors have been doing to Japan for years now, it's not too far-fetched to assume the reason why these games were removed was because of that. So, to get into the crux of the issue, payment processors suck ass. I absolutely hate them. Like, seriously, they are an absolute parasite to creative expression, creative freedom, and they're continuing to get stronger and stronger and just censoring anything they possibly want and can. And the fact that we have Japanese games getting removed kind of implies that, once again, they really have something against Japan. Like, at this point, with what they've been doing to Japan for all these years now, I'm not gonna lie, it looks racist. Like, with the amount of content that they keep targeting from Japan to, like, dating apps, to anime, manga, doujins, gaming in general, it's just, like, it feels targeted. Like, it really just feels straight up targeted, and it's getting worse and more noticeable, and as they continue to do this type of stuff, they continue to censor content, they're making their image look worse and worse as time goes on. And it's not actually helping their brand. It's doing the exact opposite. And, I have a theory. I've been thinking about this for the last month or two, ever since I made my, last video really discussing this. But I think at this point, the only way we can really counter these payment processors, besides, let's say, a lawsuit or the government stepping in, but the problem is all these governments are, really embedded with these payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. I think the only way to really counter this at this point is that payment processors fall on their own sword, or in this case, they cause their own problem to the point to where they no longer can get away with it. Like, for example here, let's do a hypothetical. Let's say someone like Collective Shout came around, again, okay, next year, and GTA 6 was about to be released. Let's say this new group contacts payment processors, and they contact them to be like, well, how are you allowing this game like GTA on Steam, on these different sites and platforms? I could see, judging by just how they love to rampantly censor things, that they might censor the wrong thing, and it will cause a cascading effect of everybody just being outright pissed. Like, think about this. There was so much vocal anger towards them just taking down, basically adult-themed games from Steam and itch. Imagine if, a regular game, like, for instance, GTA, was removed thanks to this. The internet outrage would be astronomical. Now, I don't know if these payment processors are that stupid, but, I mean, the fact that they're doing all this for brand protection, we know they're not that smart. I mean, the real reason is they're doing all this is for control and, basically bullying people out of the business and getting what they want, but as they continue this, they're going to step on the wrong series, the wrong game or whatever, and someone's going to fight back. And if they continue doing this, that's going to happen. That will happen. That's an inevitable at this point if this continues. But regardless, it upsets me to no end seeing this type of stuff continuously happening, because even if you don't like the content that's within these games, like you don't like Japanese games, you don't like, games that are meant more for adults or have suggestive content, it doesn't change the fact that they have a right to exist. They're not real. It's fictional stories. And, it's the same argument like video games cause violence. That's basically what's being done here. It's stupid. It showcases basically people being complete schizos and not understanding the difference between fiction and reality. But I'm going to leave it at that, though. I'm just wanted to bring this up to kind of shed a light on it, because I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of this. But yeah, Japan getting censored once again. You gotta love it. Obviously sarcasm there. It's just... it's bad. Anyways, you all have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. Sorry for my voice in this video. I am sick, as you could probably tell. Forgive me. But I love you guys. Chibi out.